This one plant helps to heal sunburns, dry skin, bug bites, cuts, and gastrointestinal issues. It's also a rooting agent and a fertilizer that's full of nutrients. It has antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory properties. It's easy to grow indoors, it's heat tolerant, drought tolerant, and it thrives on neglect. Today, we're exploring the incredible, versatile superstar of succulents. It's the aloe vera plant. Topics in this video include how to grow aloe vera, how to harvest aloe vera, how to propagate aloe vera, how to use the gel for human health, and how to use it for other plants. I also have a bonus DIY tip at the end.
Stay tuned for further detail.
When I first moved into my current home, there was an overgrown clump of neglected aloe vera plants thrown into the corner of the yard. It was atrocious looking. There were so many out-of-control leaves lined with thorns that I couldn't go near any of the plants, and half of those leaves were dead. I almost threw all of the aloe vera plants away in the trash. A decade later, and I'm really glad I didn't. Over the last 10 years of growing aloe vera plants, I've learned a lot about all the different ways I can use them in my journey towards sustainable living. In case you don't know, this is an aloe vera plant. More specifically, this is the most common type of aloe vera plant. There are actually hundreds of others, but this is the one that's known for having all of these benefits. Aloe vera is a succulent with leaves that grow from a central stem in a rosette pattern. And when the plants are old enough, about 4 years or more, they can sometimes produce flowers, if they're planted outside in suitable conditions. And plants with more sun tend to produce more flowers. I live in Central Florida, and our full sun is a lot more intense than the full sun of other places. If I leave my aloe vera plants in the sun for too long, they will burn and they will die. Therefore, I grow mine in the shade. In this area, for me, they do great in the shade. But just so you know, the experts say that this plant needs full sun. The experts also say that aloe vera plants will struggle with temperatures below 40 degrees. And I don't like to argue with experts. However, I will point out that I've grown them outside for the last decade, and during that time, we've had nighttime temperatures dropping down into the mid-20s for brief periods, and sustained temperatures in the mid-30s, with no visible damage. Maybe mine are just lucky. The primary issue with aloe vera when it comes to temperature is that their leaves are mostly water, and if they get too cold, the water in the leaves can freeze. When they thaw out, they turn to mush. So if you're farther north than Central Florida, which is the vast majority of the people watching this video, you'll probably want to grow yours inside. Fortunately, aloe vera plants grow fairly well in pots. They like to have their roots all snuggled together, and they only need to be up-potted when the root ball starts to get so tight that the soil struggles to hold on to moisture and nutrients. When the root ball gets that tight, they're ready to move into a slightly bigger pot, about 1 or 2 inches wider than the original. Also, when they're growing in pots, they could use a little bit of fertilizer. A well-balanced blend is fine. Something like a 5-5-5 or a 10-10-10, applied 2 or 3 times a year, in the spring through the fall. Skip the winter when its growing pattern is really slow. When grown outside, they really don't need any fertilizer at all. They're very light feeders, and they don't need nearly as much water as people seem to think they need. That's actually one of the most common causes for an aloe vera plant's demise. Too much water. Aloe vera plants can go weeks or even months, depending on the conditions, without being watered. They are perfectly fine with soil that's dry for a time or two, but they can't handle too much water, especially at the roots. If the roots stay wet, they will rot. Just use the finger test. Stick your finger down in there. See if it's wet. Healthy leaves should be full, firm, and plump. Aloe vera leaves should be really hard to pull off the plant. The best way to harvest them is to actually cut the leaves off. Depending on the plant, it may be easier with a sharp knife, pruners, or clippers. I typically use these. Or these. Never remove more than 2 or 3 leaves at a time, and always remove them from the bottom. In my case, these are here for their ornamental value in addition to everything else. For that reason, I try to remove leaves as inconspicuously as possible. I remove the ones that are getting buried under other leaves, or are running out of space due to the direction of their growth. I carefully lift other leaves out of the way and then carefully push the clippers into place before cutting, because I don't want to accidentally cut into the wrong leaf, and I don't want any of these leaves to cut into me either. Those thorns are sharp. With smaller leaves, I can remove the entire leaf with one cut. With these larger ones, I make a partial cut, then I rip the rest of it off, and I make a clean cut as best I can. The leaf will dry along that edge to seal itself off. Side note, if you don't need a full leaf and don't want to pull off an entire leaf at once, you can just cut off a piece at a time. It'll heal. I use aloe vera to treat skin injuries all the time, and I frequently have a leaf in my bathroom for treating small scrapes, as well as a second leaf on my potting bench for use with plants. I'll come back to the potting bench in a minute. For now, let's just stick with the various ways that aloe vera is good for people. The clear aloe vera gel has antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory properties. The gel is packed full of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and micronutrients. But the aloe vera skin contains a yellow latex that may be a problem if used externally for anyone with an allergy.
Don't drink that.
It's considered toxic for everyone when ingested internally. Note that I'm not a doctor, and nothing in this video should be construed as medical advice. It's for general information and entertainment only. Because of the aloe vera gel's properties, research shows that it can help to clean skin injuries. It kills viruses and bacteria to reduce infections so that wounds can heal faster. Aloe vera also contains growth hormones that can promote healing in skin tissue. To use it, all I do is squirt some of it onto the injury and let it dry in place. That's it. Depending on the injury, sometimes I'll repeat the process a few times a day or put a bandage over some of the gel to hold it over the injury longer. It works for sunburns and bug bites too. If you have brittle fingernails, try applying some aloe vera gel to them. The aloe will help your fingernails to grow stronger and help them to regrow faster. If you don't bite them off like I do. There's latex in the aloe vera skin, and every time another piece is cut off of the leaf, more of the latex leaks out. This is also the biggest challenge with using aloe vera internally. It reportedly is really good for helping with gastrointestinal issues such as acid reflux, GERD, and irritable bowel syndrome, as well as oral health like removing plaque and reducing gingivitis. However, latex on the skin is one thing. Latex taken internally is another. To create a product intended as a mouthwash or as a drink, the gel needs to be removed from the skin and thoroughly washed to completely remove all of the latex. That's hard to do without specialized equipment or a lot of practice. I've tried it, but I don't have enough practice to safely do it, so I stay away from using it internally. For now at least. In addition to its health benefits for humans, I also use aloe vera for its health benefits for plants. Similar to helping human skin heal and grow, aloe vera gel can help plant skin to heal and grow. Just cut off a piece of the leaf and rub it onto the plant's cut. The immediate effect is that the gel's antibacterial and antiviral properties treat the injury. With repeated treatments, the gel will also help the plant to regenerate and heal the area. My most common use for aloe vera gel in gardening is for rooting new plants. I just coat the cut end with the gel before putting it into soil. That's the easiest method, and it absolutely helps by cleaning bacteria and viruses off the cutting, providing growth hormones, and helping to reduce moisture from the cutting being sucked into the soil. I've also tried cutting chunks of aloe to form a plug. I stick the cutting into the plug and put all of that into the pot. It does help, it's just more work, and depending on what you're trying to root, that much moisture against the cutting could cause it to rot. So the real benefit for that method is with rooting plants that like consistent moisture throughout the rooting phase. Another method is to put the leaf in a blender and dilute it with water, just enough to thin it out as needed. Use this as a soil drench or as a foliar spray. This method is not only good for aiding the rooting process, it's also a great organic fertilizer. Just keep in mind two important things. The aloe gel will break down fairly quickly after being mixed with water, so I wouldn't mix it in advance. And as I've already said a few times, aloe vera gel has antiviral, antifungal, and antibacterial properties. This means it'll kill off the bad stuff, but it'll kill off the good stuff too. And unfortunately, the bad stuff tends to repopulate faster than the good stuff. So for this reason, I would use this blend for new rootings and seedlings, but I wouldn't use it for established plants. At this point, you might be asking yourself, Self, how am I supposed to do all of that with just this one plant? You need to propagate more of them. Aloe vera plants can be propagated in several ways. After they're old enough to produce flowers, those flowers will produce viable seeds that can be used to grow new plants. That's a really slow method though. The seeds are only reliably viable for about the first year, and the best time of the year to start them is when the temperatures are around 50 to 75. If you want a lot of them quickly, the leaves can be used to grow new plants. Just make sure to harvest enough of the leaf to include part of the stem with it. The new roots and new shoots will come out of the stem portion, but until it can grow on its own, it'll need to pull energy from the leaf. This only needs about 3 or 4 inches of the leaf. Stick it into well-draining soil and water it in well. It'll need more water during this phase than normal, but don't drown it. Personally though, I use the third method. It's not the fastest, but it is fast enough, and it's by far the easiest. I just wait for the plants to grow pups. Then I can dig it up and move it. They transplant really well. As a bonus tip, if you scoop out the gel from a few leaves, the gel can be used for several DIY products around the home. Make sure to test it first though, to make sure that you don't have any negative reactions. One option is a face mask. Just mix 2 tablespoons of gel with 1 teaspoon of honey and a pinch of turmeric. Apply it to your face for about 15 minutes and then rinse it off. And I know there are other DIY uses for aloe vera gel as well. What's your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Do you prefer its benefits for healthcare products or for its uses in the garden? With either of those, I thank you for spending time with me today. Until next time, I'm going to keep on growing. And you should too.